I'm here to speak to you about Life Choices, which is a pregnancy care center that is located in Greenfield, Indiana, which is very close to where I live in Fishers. This is a pregnancy center that supports unwed mothers. They do their best to prevent abortions, and they give support of those who are in need. They offer free services such as ultrasounds and baby care products. It's overall just an amazing ministry, and it's something that you can be involved in. No matter what your skill set may be, no matter what you enjoy doing, no matter what you have to offer, even if it's just something little, they need good people who are willing to go out of their way to help, and that is the only way that Life Choices and other centers like it can continue, is if they have people who support them. First of all, pregnancy can be a very overwhelming time for someone who is unprepared, and as they are going through this time of pregnancy, they can be bombarded with many lies from the people around them. A lie that is very typical usually comes from maybe the father of the baby, or the parents of the mother, or maybe just friends or those in their social group. And these lies can be that it would be easier for them to eliminate the baby before it becomes a problem, before it affects their life, before it messes up their perfectly laid plans. As unfortunate as this is, many pregnant mothers have to deal with this when they're unprepared for a pregnancy. And sometimes it can be hard to combat those voices when that's what everyone around them is telling them, and it just seems like the most logical choice. Many people believe that it just isn't ethical to bring a baby into a world that is messed up and completely broken as our world is. They look at the circumstances. They look at the just issues and the problems that our world faces, and how difficult it can be just to live a normal life. And they say that honestly, it's easier for the baby if it never lives, and if it never has to face those struggles. Some unwed mothers feel as if they can't properly take care of themselves, and so they see there being no possible way that they could take care of a little tiny newborn baby and provide for all of its needs and make sure that it's healthy and doing well. And they just think that's completely unimaginable because they can't do that for themselves. Something else that is commonly pushed is that having a child out of wedlock will cause isolation, that it will separate the mother from her friends, it will push her to the outside of the group, and she'll be on the outside looking in, and she'll be alone, and she'll have to care for the baby all by herself. This is a very common lie, but it's simply not true, because in times like this, when a mother's all by herself, that is when people band together, that is when people support, and they see the need and they want to meet the need, and so they help her, and they help her through the pregnancy, they help her through the delivery, and they help her as she raises the child. And she won't actually have to face the struggles alone, but that is a lie that Satan can tell her. It's a lie that she can tell herself, but it isn't true. Pregnancy is a beautiful gift, no matter how hopeless these circumstances may appear. Every life has immeasurable value, and God looks at every life as not being a mistake, but as being good, and as being a blessing, as being a gift. And He has a very specific purpose and a very specific plan for each one of us. And abortion is never a part of that. Murder is never a part of His plan. And that's something that we need to keep in mind. As a future mother, choosing life is one of the most impactful choices imaginable. When you give that child the gift of life, you give them the gift of joy, you give them the gift of making choices, of following their dreams, of making a difference in the world. And if you had chosen abortion, then just think of all of the things that you would have deprived that child of having and of experiencing. All life has worth, even if it hasn't been given the opportunity to experience life yet. An amazing statistic that I think is so encouraging and so enlightening is that 78% of those who witness their ultrasound will choose not to have an abortion. How amazing is that? That actually shocked me when I was doing research and I saw that, and I was like, wow. So that is one of the services that Life Choices in Greenfield, that is one of the services that they offer, is free ultrasounds. And the fact that they are doing such a good work and that they are doing such an amazing thing like that and potentially saving countless lives. How can you not get behind that? How can you not support something like that? Something else to keep in mind is the trauma from having an abortion will leave permanent emotional scars. Something that people are often told is that when you have a child, it is life-changing. And yes, that is true. It is life-changing. Your life will never be the same again. Everything from that point forward will look a little different. But having an abortion is completely and totally traumatic, and it leaves scars, and it leaves such guilt, and it leaves this terrible thought always at the back of your mind, always hanging over your head. And it's not something that you get over. It's such a big deal, and the trauma from having an abortion will stick around so long. So even if you did choose to do that and you chose to terminate the baby's life, you're still going to have to deal with that for the rest of your life. It's not something that's just going to magically go away. Life Choices is in the business of making a difference in the lives of their patients. You can be involved in their ministry through various forms of donation. Of course, financial gifts are always encouraged. It takes a lot of money to run a center like that. It takes a lot of money to support these mothers, to pay for the services that they offer, because although they are free to the mothers, they are not free to the center. And so that takes a good deal of money, and they have to raise that money all the time, and that's something that they're always worried about. And they also have to pay their workers, because they can't really run without good employees. So financial gifts are always encouraged, and if you have the extra to give, I would suggest giving to a pregnancy center like this, because they do such an amazing work, and your support could possibly mean saved lives. Another option is filling up baby bottles with loose change and extra cash that you have lying around. This is something that churches can do if you want to get involved in a group setting. You can go and pick up the baby bottles from Life Choices and bring them back to the church and distribute them to your churchgoers. And they can take them home, they can fill them up with any loose change they may have, and then fill those up, bring them back to the center. And that's a good way just to make the best use of just little extra you have around without really sacrificing too much. Something else that is very beneficial is material gifts, such as clothing, bedding, diapers, and food products. I don't think that people realize how expensive having a baby is until they actually have their own, and the expenses add up very quickly. When you're caring for a little baby, there are so many needs that you have to meet, such as food and diapers. You go through tons and tons of diapers, clothes. There's so many things that are necessary for a little baby to thrive, and that can add up very quickly, and it can get very expensive. So the expectant mothers are so appreciative and so thankful when they get these things from others, and that takes a little bit of a load off and takes off some of the stress. Life Choices is operated by compassionate people who care enough to step out and meet the need in their community. You can offer your time by volunteering in various positions. Don't worry if you feel like you don't have what it takes to do this, because you do. There's something for everyone. Not all of the jobs require patient interaction. If you don't feel comfortable with that, that's okay. There are so many other choices. One of the choices would be a receptionist. Maybe you just like talking to people, making small talk, light, busy work. If that's something that appeals to you, being a receptionist at one of these pregnancy care centers would be a great option. Something else would be a prayer intercessor. You can do this no matter your skill set, no matter your personality, and this is honestly the most valuable gift you can give, is the gift of prayer, because prayer does amazing things in these women's lives, and it's powerful, and they need that prayer, they need that support, and you can do that just by praying. You can get a specific name, and you can pray for that woman every day and her child, and I promise you, results will happen. Something else that can be done is center cleaning. If you love to clean, if you love to pick things up and make things nice and sparkling and clean, then that would be the job for you. Maybe you have a cleaning business and you just like to offer your services freely, or maybe you would just like to go in and help yourself. This is an excellent option because having a clean center is very important. Maybe you're handy with tools and you're a good handyman, you're good at fixing things. Like any other business, they're going to need someone who can do those little maintenance fixes that need to happen, and if you're good at that, then that would be the perfect job for you. Something else that is very important is post-abortion support. Some of these mothers come in and it's already too late. They've already had their abortion, and they're going to need help dealing with the aftermath of that, and they're going to need the therapy and the counseling to get through that and to accept what they have done, but also forgive themselves and move on and make the best of their life, and not let that completely hold them back. If you are interested in making a difference in the world, this is a great opportunity for you. You can help in so many ways. This is something I'm very passionate about because I believe life is such a beautiful gift, and I don't think it should ever be wasted, and I don't think it should ever be cut off before its time. And if you feel called to help with this, it would be amazing. I'm sure Life Choices would appreciate your help so very much. Yes, I can't say enough good things about this. So yeah, go out and help them. You won't regret that you did.